Talks from the Crypt.
I was literally pins in a map. There were certain things that were on Graveline that I wanted to have on my tour, but I didn't take the Graveline, the guy, because we do audio stories too. They're like voiceover stories with sound effects and things. It was produced. And I was still friendly with the guy when I got back from London. I became friendly again with the owner of the company. So I bought a couple of his scripts, but they were narrated tours. We went to the Menendez house. We could play the 911 call that was recorded right inside the door.
Beverly Hills emergency.
Yes, police.
What's the problem? What's the problem? What's the problem?
Someone killed my parents.
Pardon me?
Someone killed my parents.
What? Who? Are they still there?
Yes.
The people...
No.
Were they shot?
Hey, man,
Were they shot?
Yes.
They were shot?
Yes.
112 response. 722 North Elmore.
What happened? Hey, stay there,
The Menendez house.
The Menendez
house.
Yeah, Lyle and Eric Menendez, who killed their parents while they were watching television with shotguns.
Oh, interesting. I've never heard that story. This
spoiled little Beverly Hills kids, and they pretended to be victims for a good 8 months, and meanwhile bought a Porsche for cash in a restaurant, etc., just pissing through their parents' fortune. And it turned out where they had did it, and it's really obviously it's really gross, but they were just spoiled little brats that now they claimed all these other things had happened back then. But yeah, so it's a good. But being in front of that house and listening to that 911 call, now knowing that kid was lying the whole time is fascinating.
So he called the police on himself.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, but somebody killed my parents, and they pretended like they walked into the room. They weren't busted for like 8 months.
Wow, that's fucking insane. So they both conspired together to kill their mother and father.
They went back out and reloaded and went back in. The mother was still alive. They shot her in the face, point blank. And the coroner told me that's the only crime scene he'd ever been into where he needed an umbrella to walk through it because of the stuff dripping from the ceiling.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So they shot her they shot them to the point where there was blood dripping off of the ceiling.
Yeah.
And you'd think, living in Beverly Hills. And what's crazy is how are both of your kids that fucked up? What happened?
There you go. The father was a tyrant. They're claiming, there was abuse, sexual abuse, etc. I don't believe that. I just believe he was tyrannical. But they want to represent it like they're the victims.
Yeah.
They're just spoiled little brats.
But for both of them to be on the exact same page, I can't even get my friends to play fucking pinball with me.
Let alone get shotguns.
Let alone kill my parents.
No, it's horrible what happened to them.
Talks from the Crypt. Talks from the Crypt.
What was your favorite stop? I mean, and we could say Helter Skelter, but let's go with something a little bit more difficult. What was a stop that you would go on that you were shocked that more people didn't know about?
There was a guy by the name of Albert Decker who died in '69, and he was a California state assemblyman. He was also in movies like The Wild Bunch. He was in East of Eden with James Dean. He starred in a movie called Dr. Cyclops in the '50s, and he was found in his bathroom. He had a noose around his neck that was looped around the shower head and held behind him. He had his legs were tied in a knot with rope. He had a ball gag in his mouth. He had I know there's more about this story. I do know that he ultimately his hands were handcuffed behind his back and he had the rope in his hand. He drew on and two hypodermic needles, one sticking out of each of his buttock. He had lipstick drawn sun rays around his nipples. He had a vagina drawn on his stomach, and on his buttocks were the words "whip," and the other one said "make me suck." And
Jesus,
it was accidental suicide. It was autoerotic asphyxiation.
How the fuck did he write on his own ass?
I don't know.
There's no way. I think he got murdered.
That's what they would say, but I don't think so.
So there is speculation around that.
Some people say that. Some people do, but I don't. I'm not a big conspiracy theorist.
Yeah,
he was just into the kinky stuff, and it's not as uncommon as you might think. Anthony Bourdain. I took him around one day.
Talks from the Crypt.
You heard me.